Assalamu alaikum friends, this is Mohammad Nawaz, and today in our this video we will share something about innocent girl Pirani that was belongs to Brohi community. Yes, brothers, the Brohis were coming down from the hills. The winter had just set in. The cold dry wind was sweeping down the dust and gravel ahead of them. They had 2 or 3 bullocks and 1 camel. 2 dogs with wagging tails followed them. The men were barefooted, their shalwars short and tall. On their heads they wore conical, embroidered caps full of dust and dirt. Women donned long robes with pretty embroidered designs now shredded on fading way as a result of long wear. On the blocks they had loaded huge sack of twine and rope twisted out of goat's hair. The young children sat huddled on the sacks, the parents driving the animals with their sticks as they kept humming, "He whom, he whom." With their beards they looked handsome and dignified, but penury-stricken and weather-beaten. They pitched their camp on scalded spot where they distributed pieces of dry bread. Yes, they pitched their camp on the secluded spot where they distributed pieces of dry bread. From another cloth bag, they took out some lumps of dried gourd, which they put in pitchers full of water. Each one gulped down a few draughts. Little Pirani, hardly 9 years old, clapped her hands as she cried, "We are now in Sindh. We will have such a good things and so many." Her father took off his cap and scratched his head full of lice. The mother looked annoyed. Other children were also dreaming of the good and sweet things awaiting them on the plains. In the valley of Sindh, they built for themselves small shacks made of hay. They slept on hay and put on slippers made of hay. They sold the ropes and bamboo sticks. Sometimes they starved by drum. The winter was over, it was time to return the hills. The poor children went without good things. Pirani's father looked at his wife's face meaningfully. There was anger and desolation in the glance they exchanged. The wife felt scared and looked at Pirani's shirt, which she had washed only that morning. There was no defiance in her silence, miserable eyes. Pirani's father approached the neighboring village and greetings the people with a loud "Salaam alaikum." He asked, "Brothers, does any need a girl in marriage?" He means to sell his daughter, his little innocent daughter. This is the disease which they were cursed in poverty. For the Sindhi peasants, it is not easy to get a wife. Many girls are blessed as soon as they are born. It costs money to have a wife. May Allah have mercy on all. Lalu's father looked at his adolescent son, who had a husky voice and a paired trace of beard. Both Lalu and his father accompanied the Brohis to his hamlet. The Brohi dogs barked as they saw the Sindhi strangers approaching. Pirani, her hair loose and her back uncovered, ran and held her mother tightly by the shawl. Lalu's father felt her body. Pirani's father, anxious to strike a good bargain, exhorted, "She has a lot of flesh. She's no weakling." The dogs wouldn't stop barking, and they kept it up till they had followed the strangers back to the outskirts of the hamlet. The dogs wagged their tails as if they had done their duty. Outside of hamlet, outside of the hamlet, after considerable high haggling, the bargain was stuck for 60 rupees. Yes, the innocent little Brohi girl Pirani has been sold for 60 rupees. The boys were now getting ready to return to the hungry hills. They pulled down the shacks and loaded the bulls. The children kept chattering about the hills and the pebble trees on the hills. Lalu's village was on the way. Pirani's mother walked abreast, almost touching her daughter, while the father offered his finger for Pirani to hold. "Are we returning home?" asked Pirani. Father nodded. "Yes, we are." He could feel a corrosive voice turning and twisting within him. The mother felt as if something heavy were hammering within her breast, trying to get out. Lalu's people were betting as they drew nearer. Pirani's mother twitched consequently and clasped her daughter. Lifting her high, she pressed Pirani to her bosom. The mother and daughter were panting, their hearts pounding fast, their eyes panic-stricken. Others stood around them. The father, with his trembling hands, lurched forward and tore away his daughter with a look of finality. The mother broke down, her heart crushed. She very white jewel cut into pieces. She screamed, "Pirani, oh my little Pirani!" The girl stricken back. The birds flew away in a panic. Lalu's father took hold of Pirani, who lay huddled on the ground. Pirani's father was sobbing, tears flowing down his cheeks, and threw his beard to the ground. But he was holding his trembling wife and pulling her back. The caravan started moving towards hills. Pirani was hysterical, crying for her father and mother. The mother was being dragged away, but her loud lament rent the air far off. "Oh Allah, my Pirani, baby Pirani, may the hills be on fire. May Sindh prosper. Oh my little Pirani, oh my little Pirani, may Sindh prosper." They dragged the stroller inside her new home, but she was slipping away from their hands, kicking, biting, screaming, and bouncing like a rubber ball. Lalu ran inside and soon brought a piece of jaggery. Wind was put into Pirani's mouth, but sweet came out gurgling. The child's delicate throat was hoarse with cries. Between tears and hiccups, she kept moaning. She kept moaning about her father and mother. In vain, Lalu was in fury now. He brought out a dagger and opened his eyes wide. He thundered, "Now will you shut up before I carved you in pieces?" Little Pirani rolling on the dust. gave a scream with all that was left of earth. The goat in the courtyard pricked up her ears and started licking her kid. A woman hugged her daughter in affright. Yes, Pirani is still alive today. One of her sons in a policeman and other alive convict in a prison. Thank you very much.